Hi, welcome to the Not Only Carrots cooking show. I'm Leah and today we'll be making coconut curry tofu from page 40 of my brand new cookbook, No, We Don't Only Eat Carrots, Plant-Based Food for Humans. We're going to start off today by heating up our pan. You can cook on the stove if you like. We need to get to a medium-high heat. And while that heats, let's get our onions going. You'll need a large onion for this recipe, but today I've got a couple of small ones. They work just as well. Doesn't have to be too big. This recipe goes over the top of brown rice. So I cooked mine in the rice cooker over there today to save time. But in the cookbook, I do explain how to do it on the stove if you don't own a rice cooker. Okay, to our onions, we're going to be adding 2 tablespoons of rice bran oil. So we'll pop that in and we'll get our onions heating up. Give them a quick stir. And we'll be immediately adding in 2 teaspoons of garlic. If you would like to cut them up yourself, a couple of cloves will do just fine. And we also need 1 teaspoon of ginger. Whoop, I just flicked it on myself. Okay, there we go. Oh, I'm going to use my lid splatter protection. Okay, I'll keep that on there now, and we're going to add along to that our spices. Cumin, coriander and turmeric, and we'll be adding to that some curry powder as well, and that will give us our flavour for our recipe. And so I don't get flicked up, I'll turn my temperature down a little bit. All right, so 1 teaspoon of each of those spices. I lost my spices, here they are. Coming now. We're going to be bursting our spices, and when they start to smell really fragrant, you know that they're ready to go, and we can add in the rest of our ingredients. And 1 to 2 teaspoons of curry powder, depending on how spicy you like your meal. Went a little bit over there, so we'll go a little bit less on that one. Very good. Stir them in. Oh, smells so good. And you just want to stir that until you can really smell those spices. Now what we're going to do is add to that pretty much everything else in one go. So what we're going to do first is add 3/4 of a cup of coconut cream. I'll first put in 1/4 cup of tamari, which is a wheat-free soy sauce. So then now I can use my measuring jug. Here we go. 3/4 of a cup. Perfect. And put that in there. Instead of tamari, you can use soy sauce or even Bragg's amino acids. They work really nicely as well. I'll add to that 1 tin of champignons. It's a very fancy way of saying mushrooms. Drain those first. Get that all stirred in. It smells good. Okay, we're going to add to that 1/2 teaspoon of rapadura. Rapadura is evaporated cane juice. Our packet just doesn't want to open. Just 1/2 teaspoon of that. Add a little sweetness. You can use brown sugar if you prefer, but you do want to have a sugar that has that caramelly taste to it. We'll bring that temperature down. Just keep an eye on it. You don't want it bubbling crazy out of control. Now we're going to add 500 grams of firm tofu, just in thick slices. And then you're going to cut each piece. I actually just do it in one tower. And you're sort of cutting it into little squares. Now I've gone the other extreme. We'll bring that temperature up a little bit. Okay, stir that through. As you can see, this is a really quick meal. It's just a matter of chop, throw, cook, done. We'll add along to that 1/2 a bell pepper, 1/2 a capsicum. You can use yellow or green. Flavor doesn't really change too much. Chop it inside out so your knife doesn't slip. I prefer to cut it into little pieces, but if you prefer it in strips or thick chunks, go for it. There we go. We're going to add to this 1/2 teaspoon of salt for some extra flavour. And you actually need 4 cups of bok choy. I'm going to slice it up nice and thinly. Tonight I've got 2 bunches, so that's roughly 4 cups. Make sure you rinse them really well because the dirt loves to get stuck to those stems, and you don't want to be crunching down on your dinner and crunching down on the veggie garden dirt at the same time. Not a pleasurable experience. You will notice that in our recipes I try to use leafy greens wherever possible. They are just so good for you. They're full of iron and protein, and as a vegan, when we first changed our diet, we found that we were low in those things because we were actually just taking meat out of our meals and not replacing it with anything. But once we learnt about replacement, adding in beans, lentils, tofu, green leafy veggies, things like that, our iron levels, our protein levels, all shot right back up again, and we've been fine ever since. So green leafy veggies should become a daily consumed food in your home. If you head over to nutritionfacts.org, Dr. Michael Greger has many excellent videos. If you type in dark leafy greens or green veggies, you'll come up with many videos that'll help to explain what I'm mentioning tonight. Righto, we'll stir that through, and we have 1/4 cup of basil now, fresh basil from our garden pot that we're going to chop finely. Finally, we have 4 tomatoes. Okay, we'll get this last tomato in there, and quite literally, once we stir this around, we're going to keep it heating. If you stir this around for not even 5 minutes, it's pretty much ready to go. So we're going to put that tomato in. Okay. Now we'll bring that heat up now that I'm stirring it. Because the bok choy is delicious raw or cooked, you don't have to overcook anything in this meal. Same with the tomato. It's just a lovely quick meal. Very good. I'm just going to leave that for a few minutes now just to soften it a little bit more, and we'll serve it up. I really hope you enjoyed watching our video today, and we'll see you next time.